You can't say that we were lucky to have been destroyed by a hurricane. You really can't say that. But one of the unintended consequences is that the city has become this one big experiment. And that's kind of fascinating for all kinds of people in all kinds of different professions, whether they're artists or entrepreneurs. You know, it's kind of like you level the playing field and start over. And that creates this kind of, you know, with experiments you have, you know, suspense. And you have a sense of motion, and you have a sense of things coming together in unexpected ways. And the whole, well, thanks, I think, also to Prospect One, which helped spark the interest in co-op galleries, which a lot of people had this idea anyway, but I think Prospect One really helped things happen faster. It was kind of a catalyst. And, you know, I think the other thing about it, hey, all right. And the other good thing about it was that, in reference to what I was saying earlier about how, you know, American art used to be so New York-centric, well, after New York sort of fell off the edge, it's still the marketing capital, but it's not the creative capital. It's like suddenly then we have this whole new context for New Orleans as a world city, because we really do have more in common with places that are either older or crazier or more third world than we do with these mega first world capitals like London or New York. And so that the whole context of art shifting to a global, and you know, globalism has pluses and minuses, but I think in the art world it's been kind of a good thing. And it's sort of been good for New Orleans because we have a whole different kind of a way of measuring what we're doing here. And it's not just measuring against what's happening in, you know, the official art capital in New York. So that's
just like we don't know what's going to happen with the print medium, whether it's going to change or all go digital. I don't think we're quite sure what's going to happen with New Orleans, but one fact is how many people from other cities are here now. I've been here only 3 years, but a lot of the artists I meet have just moved here within 1 year, 2 years, and they keep coming in. There's more art happening on every Saturday night than anyone can handle. Eric and I were just speaking before this began. He said there's no way of seeing everything anymore. And that has to do with incredible influx coming into this city. Many of the artists that are part of the front have only been here 2 years and less. So this is happening everywhere. The city is exploding in its visual arts. It's not a question, is it going to be one of the main cities? It's so hard to tell. I mean, you're right about Minneapolis. It's in many respects, there have been also a huge drama scene coming out of Minneapolis. Why was this becoming a central city? There's a great deal to be said that New Orleans doesn't advertise in the major magazines, and therefore is not, you know, Berlin is one of the new places now, because Berlin galleries are in every single print media magazine. They're able to do it. So there is this economy, but we'll see how it's going to change. I'm not sure if we have the answers right now.
I think sometimes it's all relative to how you define and experience what art is. I think there's been a culture of visual arts in New Orleans. People here, as long as people have been here, and I think there are different ways of seeing what is art and what is considered contemporary, what is considered visual arts. And I mean, we can say the same wherever we go. If you say there's drama that is a new influx in another city, it may be another form of drama. It may not be traditional theater drama, or it may not be, I don't know, whatever people consider to be that style of drama. So I think if we look deeper at what New Orleans is, the culture that resonates in these communities of New Orleans, we will see that visual arts has been alive and well, and it may not be in a more traditional, in some sense of traditional. It's hard to use those terminologies, but it may not be painting, or it may not be installation, or it may not be what's contemporary / conceptual, but it's a way of understanding the layers and nuances of this culture to know what really has been existing for so long.
Well, down to my last question, and then we're going to turn it over to the audience. What would you, as art critics, like artists to know? Sorry, I should have prepped you with these questions.
Like the artist.
Yeah.
Write better artist statements. Some of you guys are pretty good, but some of it's just BS, you know, it's not going to fly. And I think it's really good to have an artist statement because it gives you kind of a starting point, because it tells, one of the things that's important for a critic to know is like, what do these people think they're doing, you know? And if the artist's statement at least gives you some idea of what the artist thinks that he or she is doing, and that's kind of a springboard that, you know, you can use to sort of go from there and say, well, are they really doing that, or how well are they doing that? Or is it really important to do that? Maybe they're doing something that they think they're doing, but it's really wonderful in some totally other way, you know? So, but it's good to have that point of, it's just a reference point, but it's handy.
Playing off that, I just received 40 artist statements, and 34 of them are the same artist statement filled with the same jargon. If we're asking artists to create an artist statement, for an artist to be able to explain their work, now perhaps that's our job, but to be able to describe it without the jargon would be incredible. To be able to just say what this is, it seems to be a challenge, and maybe it's art school's fault. Perhaps it's a combination of the necessity to combine theory into the conception of your art that makes your artist statement even more difficult than the artwork itself to digest. So if the artist statement is necessary, as it does seem to be, just explain what your artwork is in simple language.
Oh gosh, I guess, and I was thinking something that you said earlier, that the art is one thing, and then the article written about it, the criticism written about it, is another thing. And I guess I would like artists to know that, you know, take it with a grain of salt. I'm a writer with an opinion, and okay, if you can make something of that, if that is helpful to you, if you can make something out of that, great. And if not, don't let me steer the boat. I'm doing my thing. I'm criticizing. I'm giving you my opinion. But you do your thing. You know what I mean? Grain of salt, I guess.
Anybody else want to weigh in? Okay, questions from the peanut gallery. Okay. Yes.
Just to address what was just said, as an artist, if you're writing this artist statement, should you direct it to the critic, the museum curator, or to the guy on the street?
Did everybody hear?
Yes. Can you repeat it?
If you're the artist writing the artist statement, do you direct it to the curator, the critic, or the person in the street?
No, just say what you think.
Yeah, I would say direct it to yourself.
Yeah, but
To yourself.
Otherwise, you're second guessing, and you don't want to do that with your art, so why do you want to do that with your statement? Just say what it means to you.
I think that's a very hard thing for any artist to do.
It's very hard.
Because it's a secret. If you could say it, you wouldn't be an artist.
Well,
No.
that's true, but you just, you know, wing it, you know?
Or get help.
But that's why art criticism is replacing art. Soon art's going to be completely unnecessary, and all that's going to be available is art criticism.
And that's the end of tonight's program.